Dying in a video game is almost always a reason for frustration because you, as the player, failed to make the right move. But there are situations when death becomes straight up amusing. For those specific moments, we prepared a top 10 that enlists all the funny occasions when losing your in-game life was nothing more than hilarious. The ridiculousness of these situations is usually generated by the pointless or accidental ways the death happens. There are multiple deaths induced by falling from a helicopter in Grand Theft Auto 4, and all of them are really spectacular and full of humor. From all of these happenings, there's one that we found to be particularly funny. The character falls from the helicopter, and while he plunges to his death, kicking the air like he's trying to walk, he hits a building whose logo reads, "Get a Life." This is one of the most ironic and comical ways of dying we've seen in a video game. You might think that a jamming gun that didn't want to work properly was the demise of a character by firing up right in his face or something. Here, this isn't the case. Because the developers wanted to emphasize how important taking cover is in Gears of War, they introduced the moment when Anthony Carmine gets a bullet in the head while looking at his jammed weapon. This is one of the most random ways of getting killed, and so it becomes foolishly comical. The Bandicoot always dies in the most theatrical ways imaginable, starting with getting totally flattened by a giant boulder and still flapping on the floor, and ending with all sorts of other ridiculous deaths. Getting drowned, impaled, thrown all over the place, even getting blown up and still rolling his eyes. These are just some of the examples, but what cracks us up every time is that when the Bandicoot dies, he exclaims in amazement, "Whoa!" as if every death is a true wonder to him. Usually an ambulance is the symbol of salvation, but not in Madden 92, where out of nowhere an ambulance strolls in and casually drives over a player. This death is so ironic and amusing due to exactly the unlikely association of being killed by an ambulance. Even though it's not a spectacular death in and of itself, it manages to create some good chuckles because you definitely didn't see it coming. While Earthworm Jim tries his best to win the princess's heart, something unexpected happens. Namely, a cow falls on the princess and squashes her. The cow seems to appear out of thin air, and the situation is so hilariously accidental that it makes us really crack up. This is not the most complex death scene or the most subtle one, but its bluntness makes it very funny. It's so mundane to be killed by a falling cow that it's actually laughable. Getting killed while in a vulnerable state is not such an honorable death, but when a character dies while peeing, it makes it pretty amusing for the viewer. The fact that the player approaches the guard and he's just minding his own business without a care in the world, probably trying to concentrate on the task at hand, is pretty entertaining. He doesn't even look startled that someone caught him in the act, he just falls and dies. The Animality is a move that started as a fan-spread rumor, but became a reality in Mortal Kombat 3, and it implied the transformation of a character into a certain animal. For example, Scorpion's equivalent would be the Arachnid, right? Well, not exactly. In fact, Scorpion transforms into a penguin that lays explosive eggs. And now returning to the theme of our top 10 funny deaths, you can see just how hilarious it is to be killed by an explosive penguin egg spawned by a guy named Scorpion. We all know that Spider-Man is the absolute hero of athleticism and good reflexes, but even the biggest superheroes in the world have some awkward moments from time to time. One of them would be when Spider-Man has to save a woman from a house on fire, but an unlikely glitch makes him simply fall down flat on his face and die, just like that. This is probably the most simplistic yet amazingly funny way to die, face planting because of no identifiable reason. Pretty much every time Roger dies in this comedy game, it's a spectacle in itself. His deaths are sudden, happen very often, and can't be avoided. From all of them, we found one that really made us chuckle because its motive is so innocent. Roger enters a room where he has to make an experiment, but as he forgets his protective suit, he instantly explodes due to the vacuum that exists in the room. The POW animation and the text that announces his death are pure humor. In Skyrim, you can die by being thrown into space by a giant. The way this funny death happens is so well orchestrated and sudden, the player doesn't stand a chance. It even has a code name, the move being called Giants Launching, so it became kind of an internet sensation to be launched like a rocket and die among the stars. Since it's so well known and you clearly vocalized your desire for us to include it on our list, we thought it should get the first place for its popularity and uniqueness. This was our list featuring the funniest video game deaths, and we hope you've enjoyed our video. If you feel we did a good job, please press that like button, as we do appreciate it and it does help us immensely. If you can think of any other hilarious video game deaths that we may have missed, please let us know in the comments below, as we do try to read pretty much everything. Now would also be a good time to encourage you to subscribe, because we upload new videos all the time, so subscribing will keep you up to date with all of our latest stuff. You can also check out fraghero.com for more gaming related articles. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.
Every man will die, but not every man truly lives.